So hey guys, let's try now, to make so our utility has its own graphic user interface, a GUI. So let's see how in using the 3dsmax script language, how we create like a graphic user interface. So I'll just create like a basic example of a graphic user interface right now. So what we are going to create like is a window, a floating window like this window, and in it we will create like some like rollouts, and these are rollouts like this one that you can open and close like this one. So this is a rollout. Okay, so we'll put like a rollout like this one inside my window, my floating window, and in it we'll find like buttons like this one, and sliders and spinners. Okay, so this will be our first example of creating a graphic user interface using 3dsmax script language. So we start by writing rollout. We'll associate this rollout to a variable. So we call it like my rollout A. You can name it whatever you want. It's a variable that is going to be associated with this rollout. And then, since a rollout has a name, a title name, like this one, utilities, in here. So we'll define that right now. So we call it like first rollout, like this one. And then we'll open a parenthesis and close it. This rollout will have just a button like this one. The button too will need to be associated to a variable. So my button A, you can name it, it's a variable, so you can name it whatever you want. And then of course the button 2 need to have like a title name like this one, assets browser for this, or perspective match. So, and it's like a behind, we'll put it like behind a quotation marks, like for the rollout for this one. So like button A. Okay, it's just a title name, so you can put whatever you want. Of course you need to put like something in relation of what this button is supposed to be doing. Okay, not just like a button A or something, button A. Anyhow, so let's add to it like a spinner. So the command is spinner, and of course the same, we need to associate that spinner to a variable. Okay, so I'll just call it like my spinner, and the title name will be like spinner A. Okay, and let's create now a second rollout. This one is my second rollout, so I'll give it, I will associate it to a variable. I will call it rollout, my rollout B, and I'll give it like a name, second rollout. Okay, and then open and close parenthesis. In it will put like just another button like this one, my button B. As I said before, it's a variable that will be associated to this button. Okay, and button B. Okay, and then slider, let's create like a slider as well, my slider, and slider A, slider A. As I said, like we are going to put these rollouts, these two rollouts, into a floating window, and to do that we need to add this instruction. We need to associate the window to a variable, so I call it like wind or window, something like that. So this is my variable, is equal to new rollout floater, and the title that will be present like in my window. So I'll write it right now behind quotation marks. So I'll call it like my window, and the size of the window 300 pixels by 300, and then we will add those two rollout to my window by doing so. Add rollout, so that's why we created these variable, because so we can add this rollout to my window. I'm gonna need to use the variable associated to this rollout, and the same for the second one. So I'm gonna just add my rollout A to window. Okay, and the same for the second rollout. My rollout B to window. And let's save this script. Okay, I'll name it like maybe GUI rollout 01. And then let's do like a Control E, or by just pressing the evaluate all, or Control E, the shortcut. So it's working. So we have our floating window with my button A, the title, and the spinner A. Okay, it's here, and this is our spinner. It has like default values, like my spinner. If I don't mention it in my code, so the default my spinner will just go from 0 to 100. Okay, and the same for my slider. It goes from 0 to 100 as a default values. And of course, if I press my buttons, nothing happened, since I didn't add any condition, any decision statement, or any condition statement. Okay, so let's make so our buttons and spinner and sliders do something when we change their values or when we press those buttons. Okay, for this, let's do a simple example. I'm gonna just add an object in my scene, like a box or something like that. Okay, and I'm gonna give it like some segments. I'm gonna change these names now. I'm gonna call this one add bend, because this button will be adding a modifier called bend. Add bend modifier, or just mode. Okay, and my spinner will change. Let's add it manually for now, like this, bend. So this spinner will just be changing the angle of my bend. Okay, like this. I'll just delete my modifier right now. In this rollout, I'll just add the condition. So on add bend pressed do, and close parenthesis. So I'll just add dollar. Dollar is for like any, when you just put like dollar and dot, it is like for any selected object. It doesn't care, even a light, any selected object in this scene. So let me show you. Yes. Let's put like a dollars and shift enter in front of it. So it's now my dollar is associated to any selected object. For now it's associated to my box, since the box is selected. But if I select this character and do like shift enter, so we can see that now it is associated to this to the character. And the same for the camera. So shift enter. So it's my camera right now. So let's go back to this script now. So I'm gonna add to my dollar, my selected object, a modifier called bend. Okay, so just do this dollar add modifiers. Sorry, I need to write it like that. So it's add modifier, and then I put like the object that I need to add to it, like this modifier, add modifier. So the object, since I just put like a dollar, that means to any selected object I'll be adding this modifier, the modifier band. So now after that I'll just put like the band modifier. I'll just add it like that, band, open parenthesis and close it, and then close the second parenthesis. So let's do like a shift enter in front of this line. So as you can see now, my box has a band, but be careful, because if my camera is selected and then I do shift enter, I'll get like an error or nothing happened. Ah, yeah, it added. Okay, I didn't know that. We can add even a band, but it won't do anything. But you can add like a band to a camera. So I didn't know that. Okay, it's good to know. But as I said, it won't do anything to it. It won't be bending the camera, of course. So now if I press my first button, which is called like add band, I'll be adding like a band modifier to my box, or to any selected object. Okay, and let's make so our spinner change the angle of my bend modifier. So if on my spinner, the variable related to this spinner, my spinner changed val for value, do open and close parenthesis, and then I'll just do like a dollar bend, and then let's do shift enter in front of the hold on. Hold on. Let me delete this. Shift enter. So now we have band. It's there. My box has the band modifier, and then when we do like shift band, and after that we put like the angle, shift enter. So the default value of my angle is 0. Okay, but we can change it. If I put like equal to 20, shift enter in front of that line, so it will change it to 20, as you can see. Okay, but I wanna associate the value of my spinner to this angle, so I'm gonna just do like $.bend.angle equal to val, which is the value of my spinner. Okay, so let's see if it's working or no. So to start, I'm gonna delete this bend modifier, Control E. So let's add the bend modifier by pressing this button, so it's there, and let's change the spinner. So as you can see, it's changing. Let's add some other setting to my spinner in here. So I'm gonna change the range. So I'm gonna add like range square brackets, and then put like from -100 to 100, and the default value is 0. So these two values, the first two one, are the limits. So from -100 to 100, and the default value is 0. You can change it to 10. Let's make it the default value of my spinner is 10. Okay, so Control E. So as you can see in here, my default value is 10. Okay, so let's add my modifier. So as you can see, because I already had like a band modifier, and then when right now I just pressed like my button to add another modifier, so we have now two modifiers. Okay, so let's change the angle value. So now as you can see, it goes from minus 100 to 100. Okay, I mean, I'm doing this little tutorial, like this mini tutorial, just to explain a little bit like about how we create like graphic user interface using the 3dsmax script language. Okay, so let's do so. I want, let me do like a Control E again. Let's say if I wanna in the beginning to have only this rollout and don't see this one. Okay, or you know what, let me move this spinner, this one that changed the band angle, to the second rollout. So I'm gonna just do like Control X in here, and I'm gonna put it like in my second rollout after the slider. Control V, and of course with it like I will be changing, or I will be moving also its condition statement. Control X and Control V. Okay, why I'm doing this? Let's say like in the beginning, and let's change also this title, make it so it's adding band modifier. Okay, okay, so let's say like in the beginning I want to just have this rollout with this button, add band modifier, and then because I want, if I can't change the angle of my spinner, my band, before creating the band modifier, so I'll make sure like the user that will be using my utility won't be messing with my script. I will have like an error if I try to change the angle of a band modifier without, or on an object that doesn't have any band modifier. Let's try to provoke this error. So let's I'm gonna execute my script. So if I do this, I have like an error because there is no band modifier on my object. So I'll make sure like the user that will be using my utility won't do this. So I'm gonna just hide this rollout until the user will create like a band modifier on my object. Okay, so for this I'm gonna take out this line. I'm gonna do like Control X, Control X, and Control E. So there is no more like the second rollout just disappeared because I took out the add rollout from my script. And then I'm gonna also change the size of my window. I wanna make it so it's like just 100. Control E, or maybe less, 80. Control E. So, and then when I press this button, I'm gonna add a band modifier to my object, and then it will make my window bigger and add the second rollout, and then we can change the angle of my band modifier. Okay, so let's do this. So in my condition, in this condition about statement of the button condition statement or decision statement, I'm gonna do like Control V, you know, that line that I took out from here. So when I press, hold on, I'm gonna do another Control X. I'm gonna put it after the add. Okay, so when I press my button, I will add like a band modifier, and then I will add my second rollout, and then I want my window to change in size. So I'm gonna do like window this variable window size is equal to like before, like 300 by 300, okay, like it was before, okay. And then Control S to save my script and Control E to execute my script. So now, as you can see, my object doesn't have any band modifier on it, and in here, like, my utility is just like a small window with just one rollout with the button add band modifier. So let's add this band modifier, and then as you can see, my window got bigger with the second rollout, and my object now has like a band modifier. And of course, now I can safely change the angle of my band angle. Okay, let's do something else. So what if, just for the sake to understand like the different command of the 3D Max script language in the graphic user interface, in the creation of the graphic user interface. So what if I want, even when I press the add band, let's do a Control E. So what if, even if I press this button, and it will add my band modifier on any selected object, and then it will add my second rollout, and even after that I want to have like my spinner that will change the band angle. I want that spinner to be grayed out. I won't be able to access it unless I press this button that I'm going to call like activate band. Okay, so in other words, like even when I press this button, it will make this rollout appear like that, but the spinner will be grayed out. I won't be able to change anything on it until I press this button, and then the spinner will be activated. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna add to my slider and spinner. I'm gonna make so even the slider is grayed out. So to make a button or a slider or a spinner grayed out, like not active, you need to add like enabled false. Okay, and let's Control C space Control V, and that's it. And I will change the title for this button to activate band. Okay, so let's see what happened. Control E, so I press this button, and then I'll have like the second rollout appear, but as you can see, they are grayed out, my slider and the spinner. I'm not able to change anything or to change their value. Okay, they're not active. Of course, I didn't do anything yet. Like I didn't tell, like I didn't add the condition statement that says that when I press this button, I need to activate the slider and spinner. Okay, so let's do it. So after this line, enter. So on my button B, you can change this variable to something more appropriate, like active band or something, but I'm gonna just keep it like that because I'm lazy. Okay, so on my button pressed, do open parenthesis and close it. So my slider dot enabled equal true, and then those two variables, okay, that are associated to my slider and to the spinner. Okay, so my spinner enabled equal to true, and then Control S and Control E to execute my script. So add, so they're still inactive, my slider and spinner, and when I press this button, now they are active, and I can change my bend angle. Okay, we have too many bend modifiers, since each time when I executed my script and I pressed this button, it added a bend modifier on the top of the last one. Okay, it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. Okay, so just to show you like some commands in the 3D Max script language that deal with the creation of a graphic user interface. Okay,